Welcome back to Mr. Spiritual Journeys 520. There is a runaway prisoner. There are prison walls, and some people are behind the walls. These people once upon a time were free, but they never used their time right. And there seems to be a lot of secrets which have not been revealed in any way, and they're still being kept on even though the people have been put in jail. They're in prison, but they're still holding on to the secrets. And then there's an old guy and an old woman. They seem to work for the government, and these two are in collaboration with each other with these secrets which are done behind the scenes. And there is somebody who is trying to get out of prison, or rather they are in prison, or either they are already in prison and they're trying to get out and they seem to have a plan, or they haven't gone into prison as yet and they're looking for a plan not to be in prison. So the plan is to use children like an entertainment, to be made for children, meant for kids. But it will be used as a disguise to kidnap the person out of jail, or rather not to go to jail. It seems like the person also has some kind of mental problems, and people are struggling to help him out of his issues, mental issues. And he's behaving like a 5-year-old in a way. And he has playthings in his hands and a cap on his head. He has toys as well. There is sort of like a concert which is supposed to be arranged, but by the end of the concert, by the end of the function, they will run away prisoner and guardian. Is it? There is a guardian who is going to help him out, and he's almost like middle-aged, somebody who seems to be having a very how do I say, should I say he's fat, something like that. And after running away from the prison, they're supposed to go to a restaurant and sit and eat something. They actually, it's like they've already run away, or he's already out of prison, and they are supposed to meet somebody in a restaurant to sit and eat something. And then this old woman who is collaborating with the old man approaches them and tries to open up a topic about a small girl whose parents seem not to be around. But it's like, in actual fact, the kid belongs to the guy from the prison who is mentally ill, but was brought up somewhere else, and the guy was also has a son who he takes care of, but who happens not to be his real son, and he has no idea that it's not his son. He has no knowledge of the girl as well either. And the old lady is trying to open the topic and trying to approach the topic by bringing up the topic very carefully in a nervous way, afraid that the guy would not accept because he does not know the small girl. And she starts describing the small girl, to the guy from the prison, and asks, wouldn't it be nice to have her taken care of by you? Because she has no one. And the prisoner grins, the guy who is supposedly meant to be in prison, or supposedly meant to have come out of prison. He grins, saying that he already has a son to take care of, and he is hesitating on the thought of having another kid he does not know. The lady is sort of in a dilemma, not knowing how to tell him that the girl was his daughter and the son wasn't his, but didn't have the way to express it. But the guy is also fixated on the looks of the kid, the small girl's kid who has curly hair, because he had seen the small girl before. But there was something weird about the way he was just seeing the physical features which impressed him, but was not regarding that she was a kid who needed to be taken care of, especially when the kid was his. And the old man knows this too, but seems to be aloof concerning the matters going on, and was just concerned about what he would eat and drink, and not really bothered about who is who and what, and let the old lady always take care of all the matters behind the scenes. The kid was lying asleep, oblivious of what was going on, because she had been trained to be just obedient and follow what she was told. She was around something like 8 years, and so was the boy. And it seems like it was like they had been switched at birth, and there seemed to be some issues with the boy's health. And now, because the boy has got health issues, they want to exchange the girl back with the boy, especially when the boy was not the real kid, the real child of the prisoner. It's funny how people found it easy to always be able to switch things and people according to their own wishes and thoughts in their own good timing. Now, coming to this issue about the switch of the kids, I can't understand really how this happened. But it seems like this must have happened some years back, and the kids were switched. And it's only after 8 years is when things are coming up into surface, and people are realizing about the truth. Actually, they want everyone to know the truth, but they don't know how to go about it. And it's going to be sort of like a scandal thing. And the guy is not really all that, how do I say this? He's not really concerned about what might happen and what is going on or what happened. He seems to be just living at present and not even thinking about what happened in the past or in the future. And there are some people still in the prison, or rather will go to prison, who have secrets about what has happened, and they're not saying anything about it. Everyone is just quiet, and this is a whole group of people. How can such a thing happen and nobody speaks, and everyone seems to know the truth apart from the guy who is allegedly meant to go to prison or has come from prison? This is quite strange, and it's weird. And such events even create even more drama and chaos in life when such things happen. And it might end up being a whole chain of chaos and dramas. One, about the kids asking about their real parents, and two, about the kids having the psychology and trauma of feeling rejected, about rejection from their own parents, or the guy doesn't know this is his kid, and then later on he understands that it's his kid. He'll end up having guilty conscience in a way that he was not able to protect his own child. But at the same time, he will have anger towards the people who were the cause of the reason why he missed out on taking care of his own daughter. And the other boy, who is supposedly meant not to be his son, I don't know how that is. How come it's not his son, and he's known that boy for a long time as his son. He's brought him up, he's taking care of him. Or maybe that's also another kind of a plot to make him think that it's not his son, so that he gives up on the boy and take on the girl. That's crazy stuff. Because it feels like the son might be his in a way. And just, I don't know, biologically maybe he might not be, but he brought the kid up. He took care of it. Anyway, it doesn't matter whether the kid is his or not. This is concerning about children to be taken care of, and the way they are supposed to be brought up. They're supposed to feel safe. They're supposed to feel loved. They're supposed to feel accepted. But in this kind of a situation, it makes kids feel rejected and feel unloved. And later on, it creates a lot of different funny characters, where kids become criminals or they become selfish in some way, because most of the time selfish people are people who are looking for things to close up the gap or the missing piece puzzle in their lives. And that's why they end up being selfish, because they think by being selfish and taking what might not be theirs or doing something malicious, they will fill up that gap, but it only makes the gap even bigger. The hole becomes bigger because it's not their right. The hole can only be filled by something which is rightfully yours. And selfish people need to know this. Selfish people are not really, I can't say they're bad or good in any way. But having a selfish kind of a character means that they want everything just for themselves, because they feel like they've missed out on some things. That's why they want to gain back those things which they feel they are entitled to. And that also ends up again to our narcissistic kind of characters. Some can be cured and some cannot be cured. But the ones who get cured are the ones who accept their ailments and they accept that they have to get well. That's why they get well. But when they don't accept that they need to get well, they won't get well. Narcissism is a very wide topic, and it can take hours and hours to explain. Maybe sometime we could do that and adventure into it and see what it is about, what it's not about. Anyway, this kind of selfishness. Okay, on the other side, there's this guy as well who has this secret which has been hidden from him for a long time, all these years, and he has no idea. And maybe, and he because all his life he's also felt like he didn't even belong to his parents as well. Anyway, there are a lot of cases where babies are switched from birth, and it's become like a trend. And it's all because of selfishness. Because, I don't know, I hope people get well and people stop being selfish and put themselves into other people's shoes, especially for the ones they do bad things to. They should think of how the other person is thinking in order to be able to really understand what the other person is feeling, because there comes a time whatever they have done will just flip back to themselves as well, and they will leave the same thing just as what they had made other people leave. And but this time, if they are not trying to heal or anything, they don't accept and acknowledge what is happening, and they don't realize their mistake, they will go on to still doing the same mistake again, on and on and on and on, over and over again. They should understand that there are boundaries that they cannot cross. They should understand that they have no right to hurt another person, just as how they won't want another person to hurt them. It's the same way they should think that they should not hurt other people, because they won't want the same thing to happen to themselves. And when it happens, because that's how God works, whatever you do comes back to you, and whatever bad thing you do, it still comes back to you. And when it comes back to you, understand that that's your punishment, and you have to do something to make amends about it and to rectify yourself so that you can pass that test. This is a world of tests. We are all facing tests and examinations in this world. It's a world of tests. You either pass your test or you don't pass your test. If you don't pass your test, you will still keep repeating the same thing on and on again. Until you pass your test is when you can be free of that kind of a cycle. I don't know, this is somebody's life, and I hope people get over such kind of things. And nobody does any such kind of cruelty to anyone, because nobody deserves to have such kind of a life. No child deserves to be switched at birth in any way just because of somebody else's beliefs or wishes which they want to fulfill for themselves. Because I guess the babies were switched just because one was a boy. They wanted a boy, and that's why they switched the kids. But when they realized the boy's health was not good, this time they want to give back the girl. And that's really, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Thinking that the kid has come to the age of 8 years, and that means they've started being conscious about everything around them. Because I remember I was even surprised at the age of 7, my kid could tell me a lot of things which I didn't notice. And I was like, oh my God, she's thinking better than I am. Because they are aware of things by the age of 7. And thinking of this girl being 8 years, that means she's aware of what is happening around her. But that's how she has been brought up, to be obedient and not to question anything. So she just sat there and slept away, while the adults went about plotting and thinking of other things of what they should do. I really don't know what this should be or shouldn't be, because this is how I'm guided to give it out, and I can't think of anything to say about it, because it's not my thought to think about what should be or what shouldn't be. I can only suggest, and I hope they find a solution to this, because this is really another traumatic kind of a thing. It's going to be a trauma to the kid, trauma to the people who have done this thing, trauma to the person who experienced this. As it is, they already have been experiencing some kind of a prison, and thinking of this kind of a thing, this is just a crime. And such cases really happen. Babies are stolen, babies are switched, and nothing happens to the adults much, but everything happens to the kids. And it's not, again, I would say just what I always say, it's not right. And people need to step back and try to do things the right way, make amends to rectify what they've done. And maybe the guy was aware of it, maybe he was aware of it, but he chose to be blind to everything that was happening. And maybe by his doings, that's what got him into prison. And it's all because of plots done by two people, an old man and an old woman. May God protect us from all kind of evil creations and from such kind of events. I hope you all have a good day, and God bless. Take care. Till next time.